I felt lonely and confused because we didn't share the same values. That's why I stopped trying to connect with them. Even after I became successful, I never shared anything with them. For me, Alexandra Ela was more than just a business. It was proof that I could achieve something on my own. Even if my family didn't see my worth, I knew others did. My love for baking and the pride in my work kept me going. 4 months after my birthday, I joined an international pastry competition. My team from Alexandra Ela won first place. The best pastry chefs from around the world came to compete, and the judges were very strict. Winning made me believe even more in myself and the path I had chosen. I led my team and gave everything I had to the competition. When they announced the results, I felt a wave of happiness and relief. Tears rolled down my face. We had won. The news of our victory spread fast, not just in the baking world but beyond. More people started talking about our shop. One day, a famous food TV show contacted us. They wanted to do an interview. Normally, I didn't like being on camera. I preferred staying in the background. But this time, I thought it was a great chance to show the world the hard work of my team. So I said yes. I didn't know then how much that show would affect my life, especially my family. Some time passed, and finally, the day of the TV broadcast came. My staff and I gathered around the TV in the shop, feeling nervous and excited. When the show started, I saw myself on screen looking a bit awkward, talking about our shop and how much effort we put into everything. The cameras also showed my staff working with focus and care. Everyone in the shop cheered every time our name was mentioned. We smiled at each other, proud and happy. The host called Alexandra Ela a world-famous shop loved by dessert lovers everywhere. I watched the show with a proud heart. But just as the show ended, my phone rang. It was my mother, Julie. I was surprised. I answered the call. "Hello, Maud. What is all this?" My mother said, her voice full of shock. "What do you mean?" I asked, already knowing. "I just saw the TV show. They were talking about a shop called Alexandra Ela. Is that your place? I thought you worked at a pub." I took a deep breath and said calmly, "Mom, I'm not working at a pub. I own Alexandra Ela." "What?" she said, shocked. "That shop they said is fully booked for 2 months. That's yours?" "Yes, Mom," I replied. I always dreamed of becoming a pastry chef. Now the shop is known around the world. There was a long pause. Then I heard her take a breath. "But why didn't you ever tell us?" I gave a small, sad laugh. "Because you and Jenna always made fun of my dream. You said baking was just playing around and that it wasn't a real job." She didn't say anything. That's why I stopped talking about it. I thought I had to prove myself without your help. After a moment, she sighed. "I see. But Maud, your shop is really popular now, right?" "Well, yes," I said. "Then let's have a party," she said, suddenly cheerful. "We can celebrate your success. I'll invite lots of people." I stood there holding the phone, not sure whether to laugh or cry. "I know this party will help make your shop more popular," my mom said. "Just think about it." "Wait a minute, Mom," I replied, frowning. Every time my mother talks about people she knows, it's always about Jenna, her friends, or relatives who help her keep her place in her social circle. It didn't feel like she cared about me or what I wanted. I sighed, feeling upset, and ended the call without saying anything more. Whatever plan she had, I didn't want to be part of it. But a few weeks later, I found myself at the party she had planned. I didn't really want to go, but I went anyway. The party was big and fancy. It was called Maud's Success Celebration. But most of the people there were from my mother's world, her rich friends, people who knew Jenna and her husband Tony, and others who just wanted to talk about my success to look important. It didn't feel like it was really for me. I felt like I had been pushed into being there. "It's your party, Maud. Try to enjoy it," my mother said with a smile. But her eyes didn't match her smile. She looked at me like I was something valuable, not someone she loved. I sighed quietly and decided to just go along with it. I had to play the part of the successful daughter and not cause trouble. While I stood thinking, a man with blonde hair and a suit came up to me. He looked at me with interest and said, "Hello, I'm Tony, Jenna's husband." I was surprised but stayed calm. Nice to meet you. I'm Maud, I said as we shook hands. Tony looked thoughtful. I only found out about you recently. I saw a TV show about Alexandra Ela and asked Jenna if you were her sister. That's when she finally told me. I see, I said, forcing a small smile. She always told people she was an only child. You weren't even at our wedding. So, I was shocked to find out she had a sister, and one as successful as you. It hit me hard. My own sister had been pretending I didn't exist. I guess to her, having a sister who wanted to be a pastry chef was embarrassing. Tony noticed my silence and frowned. I didn't mean it in a bad way. But your desserts are amazing. They're so beautiful, like art. Thank you, I said. But honestly, I didn't even want to come to this party. I figured, he said with a soft laugh. Still, the fact that you're here means you haven't fully given up on your family, right? I didn't know what to say. He had a point. If I truly wanted to cut all ties, I wouldn't have come. Let's just see how things go, I said, giving a small smile as I held the dessert knife in my hand. Even inside my own family, I still felt like an outsider. I had always felt like an extra in my own family, someone who didn't matter. But now, things were different. I had come this far on my own. No matter how Jenna treated me, I could now live with pride. I had finally broken free. After escaping the fancy party, I returned home. I thought about how uncomfortable the whole event had been. I sighed. The gap between me and my family was still wide, and it didn't seem like it would close anytime soon. A few days later, I got a call from Jenna. Maud, I want to celebrate a friend's birthday at your cafe. You'll save us a special seat, right? I was surprised. Jenna, who used to act like I didn't even exist, was now calling me as if we were close. But I could tell her words weren't real. Jenna, I'm sorry. We're fully booked that day, I said kindly but firmly. She didn't give up. But we're family, right? Can't you make an exception? This friend is really important. My shop treats every customer the same, I replied. That's our policy. Her voice changed a little, turning cold. I see. Then I'll pick another day. She backed off for the moment, but soon she started asking again. Maud, can you reserve the whole cafe? I'm bringing wives of some big investors. And could you make a special dessert set just for them? Again and again, I said no. I wasn't going to give special treatment just because we were related. It didn't feel right. The truth was, I felt very uncomfortable. Jenna wasn't calling because she cared about me. She just wanted to use my shop to make herself look better in her social circle. She had never supported my dream. I had worked hard for this restaurant. I had built it with my own hands. I couldn't let family pressure change how I ran my business. One night, after closing the cafe, I saw Tony waiting outside. His face looked serious. I need to talk to you, Maud, he said. What is it? I asked. I want to ask, what do you really think about Jenna? What do you mean? You know she's trying to use your shop, right? I was surprised. He had figured it out. She told me she was helping you as family, he said, but I can see now that she's only doing it for herself. I nodded slowly. It's always been like that. She ignored my dreams, but now that I'm successful, she acts like we're close. If I hadn't made it, there would have been no party, no calls, nothing. Tony sighed. I didn't see that side of her until after we got married. But after meeting you, I finally understand what she's really like. He looked at me and said quietly, Maud, I don't think I can take it anymore. I understand now why your family never really saw you as one of them, Tony said. She always judges people by how useful they are to her. His words made the feelings in my heart rise to the surface. Tony, are you thinking about getting a divorce? To be honest, he said slowly, I've already decided. He looked at me with calm eyes. If I hadn't met you, I might never have realized it. But after seeing your success, I understood something. Life isn't about letting someone else control you. As I listened, I felt something inside me begin to heal. His words gave me peace. Several months passed. One day, I heard that Tony and Jenna were officially divorced. I wasn't surprised. From what Tony had said that day, I knew it was only a matter of time. What did surprise me was how my family changed after the divorce. Jenna could no longer keep up her fancy lifestyle. Her life had depended on Tony's money and social status. Once he was gone, everything started to fall apart. My parents were also affected. They had enjoyed a rich life, but only because Tony had supported them. Without his help, their money quickly ran out. Then one day, my phone rang. It was my mother. I hadn't heard from her in a long time. "Maud," she said, "please, I need to talk to you." I wasn't sure what to do, but I agreed to meet her at the cafe. When I arrived, I saw my mother and Jenna already sitting there. They looked completely different. The women who once wore designer clothes were now in plain outfits. They looked tired and worn out. "It's been a while, Mom." "Jenna," I said. They didn't meet my eyes. They looked ashamed. "I'm truly sorry, Maud," my mother said quietly. "When you said you wanted to be a pastry chef, we looked down on you. But now I understand how hard you've worked." Jenna added softly, "I regret not supporting you. I shouldn't have denied your dreams." I looked at them for a moment. "You know," I said slowly, "I can't just forgive someone because they say sorry." They both lowered their heads. "But," I continued, "I always wanted you to understand one thing. How much money someone has doesn't show their true worth." They listened without speaking. "When I said I wanted to be a pastry chef, you called it unstable and silly. But I believe anyone who takes pride in their work deserves respect, no matter what they do. On the other hand, people who depend on others and never try to stand on their own, they might be the ones who are truly poor. Don't you think?" My mother nodded quietly. Jenna bit her lip and looked away. They had finally heard what I had been trying to say all along. I heard that Jenna had started working as a waitress at a small diner. At first, she was confused and unsure, but as she got used to the busy daily routine, she began to understand what it meant to live on her own. My mother also started working as a cleaner along with my stepfather. They now did the same work they once left to housemaids. Through this, they finally began to understand the value of hard work. Seeing them like this made my heart feel a little lighter. I hadn't fully forgiven them, but knowing they were accepting their mistakes and trying to change gave me hope. Family bonds can break quickly, but fixing them takes time. Still, I wanted to believe we could rebuild our relationship step by step. A few months later, I visited the diner. When I saw Jenna working confidently, I was surprised. She looked like a different person, standing tall, speaking politely to customers, and doing her job with pride. Watching her like that made me feel something warm inside. One weekend, our family got together at the diner. While we were eating, I gently said, "Next time, why don't we have dinner at my place? I'll bake a cake. What do you think?" As soon as I said it, I felt the mood around us soften. A warm feeling spread through the group. It wasn't perfect and we still had a long way to go, but little by little, we were becoming a family again.